Okay, just a short message to anyone who is one, a follower of Jesus Christ, and two, you go to an imperfect church. Is that you today? Oh, there'll be many of us in that category, of course, many followers of Jesus, and anyone who's in a church is in an imperfect church. There is no church that would score 10 out of 10 in absolutely every area. Now, I just want to talk about this for a moment, because what can easily happen is when we start to notice deficiencies in our church, areas where our church just isn't doing crash hot, it's easy to become critical. I'll just give you an example. There might be someone watching this and you go to church and the praise and worship is wonderful, but the preaching's a real letdown. There may be someone else and the preaching's really good and solid in your church, but the praise and worship just doesn't inspire you. You might be in a church where the youth group is just humming along, but the Sunday school is struggling. Or you might be in a church where the Sunday school is just booming, but there's a non-existent youth group, and so you're losing a lot of young people to the church down the road. You may be in a church where there's a real need for change at the top. You might be in a church that's sort of leaning towards wokeness and being more concerned about racism and social justice than preaching the true gospel. So look, there are always going to be areas where a church has needs and even some serious deficiencies. And I put it to you, there really are only a couple of viable options. We either need to stay and pray, or if the Lord's leading us, we need to move on to another church where we're feeling more satisfied and that we can worship the Lord there and not just feel agitated all the time. And we should not take that third option, that I'm going to hang around here and I'm going to complain and I'm going to agitate and I'm going to try and stir up votes for myself or for some cause, and I'm going to try and pull down the leadership or bring about change and oust that person. Look, these things are all of the flesh. This is not God's way to bring about change. And if I can just share on a personal basis, one thing that I've experienced in various churches over the years is to notice some areas where the church is struggling a bit or is even seriously deficient, and start writing those down as prayer points and just praying relentlessly for those things. And it has been thrilling to see God intervene in local churches and actually change things. I've actually seen this with my own two eyes, without manipulating, without pressuring, just praying and calling out to the sovereign Lord of the heavens and saying, Lord, you are able to change things on earth, and you can change things in my local church. So yeah, I would certainly advocate that earnest, relentless prayer. And there might be some things you don't talk to anyone about it. You don't share with anyone. You don't gossip. You don't express discontent. You don't tell anyone else how you feel about some of the deficiencies in your church. You just get down to faith-driven prayer. And it's just amazing what God can do. So this is definitely a better way to go than going down the complaining route. And it's really exciting when we see God answering those prayers. So if I'm speaking to you today and you're a follower of Jesus and you've been noticing imperfections in your church, even some pretty major things, I encourage you, get down to serious prayer, relentless prayer, and see what God can do.